You're sound asleep, completely still, eyes shut, breathing slow and deep, and somewhere nearby, a lion is watching you. Now here's the question that should keep you up at night. Why doesn't it attack? Because the truth is, predators across the animal kingdom share a strange, almost universal hesitation around sleeping humans. Bears have walked past sleeping campers and left without incident. Mountain lions have been documented circling tents for hours before disappearing into the dark. Even wild dogs, animals that hunt prey far larger than you, will often back off from a motionless human lying on the ground. This isn't luck. It isn't coincidence. There's a deep, ancient logic running underneath it, and once you understand it, you'll never think about fear, survival, or your own body the same way again. Let's start with the obvious assumption because it's wrong. Most people assume that sleeping makes you more vulnerable. You can't fight back. You can't run. You can't even see what's coming. By every logical measure, a sleeping human should be the easiest target imaginable. But predators don't think in logic. They think in risk. And to a predator's nervous system, a sleeping human doesn't look easy. It looks strange. Deeply, unsettlingly strange. And in the wild, strange is almost always dangerous. Every animal a predator normally hunts shares a predictable set of behaviors. They graze, they drink, they move in herds, they flinch at sounds, they freeze, bolt, or scatter when threatened. These behaviors are readable. They confirm what the predator already expects. A sleeping human does none of these things. You're lying flat on the ground, which most prey animals never do in open space because it makes escape impossible. You're not watching for threats. You're not reacting to sounds. Your breathing is deep and rhythmic in a way that doesn't match any pattern the predator has cataloged through thousands of generations of instinct. You are behaviorally unclassifiable. And that alone is enough to trigger serious caution. Predators are not brave. This is one of the most misunderstood things about apex hunters. They are profoundly, almost obsessively risk-averse. A lion that gets injured hunting a zebra might not recover in time to make the next kill. An injury can mean starvation. So predators don't gamble. They only attack when the odds are clearly in their favor, when they understand exactly what they're dealing with, and when escape or serious resistance seems unlikely. A sleeping human breaks that calculation completely. The predator cannot categorize you. It cannot predict your behavior. It cannot assess your threat level. So it does what every cautious predator does when facing genuine uncertainty. It waits. It circles. It watches. And often, it leaves. There's a second layer to this, and it goes even deeper. Humans carry a scent profile unlike anything else in the natural world. Not just our own scent, but the scent of fire, cooked food, metal tools, synthetic fabrics, soap, and dozens of other chemical signals that don't exist anywhere in nature. To a wild predator encountering a sleeping human, that scent cocktail is genuinely baffling. It carries no reference point, no evolutionary memory, just a wall of unknown chemical information that the predator's brain has no framework to interpret. Unknown scent plus unknown behavior plus unknown size potential equals a threat assessment that leans heavily toward caution. Now add one more thing: the stillness itself. In nature, extreme stillness in an animal usually means one of two things. Either the animal is dead, or the animal is about to do something very dangerous. A coiled snake is still, a stalking cat is still, a cornered bear right before it charges is completely, eerily still. A sleeping human is perfectly, unnervingly still for extended periods. The predator watching you has no way to know whether you're exhausted prey or something that's about to explode into violence. That ambiguity is exactly the kind of risk that evolution has spent millions of years teaching predators to avoid. But here's where it gets genuinely fascinating. Researchers studying predator behavior have found that this hesitation isn't just about uncertainty. It's also about size perception. When you're standing or moving, a predator can read your proportions, your speed, your coordination, your likely fighting capability. But a human lying flat on the ground occupies a very different visual profile. Depending on the angle, a sleeping adult human can appear much larger than a standing one. The spread of limbs, the bulk of a torso, the irregular silhouette in low light. Many predators assess prey size based on horizontal mass and ground coverage, not vertical height. By that measure, a sleeping human reads big, potentially very big. Add to this the human head. Our skulls are enormous relative to our body size compared to most prey animals. Forward-facing eyes, a visible brow ridge, a face that faces outward rather than to the side. Even in sleep, the human face has the visual signature of a predator rather than prey. Eyes that face forward instead of sideways signal a hunter, not something to be hunted. Many animal species are hardwired to register that distinction at a glance. You look even unconscious like something that hunts. There's also the social layer, and this one predators read with remarkable accuracy. Humans are never truly alone in the way that prey animals are. Even a single sleeping human carries evidence of group living. Camp smells, fire residue, worn paths, the faint acoustic signatures of other humans nearby. Predators that have survived long enough to be cautious have learned that attacking a human often means triggering a response that goes far beyond that one individual. The threat isn't just the sleeping body. It's the unknown network attached to it. This is especially true in regions where humans have historically responded to predator attacks with coordinated hunts. The evolutionary memory of that consequence isn't stored in books. It's stored in the predator's genome. Populations that were reckless about approaching humans didn't survive to pass on that recklessness. The ones that did survive were cautious, then more cautious, then extraordinarily cautious. Over enough generations, what began as learned behavior becomes instinct. You are, in a very real sense, protected by the ghosts of every predator that ever made the mistake of underestimating a human being. Now, none of this makes you invincible. Context matters enormously. A predator that is starving operates under different risk tolerance than one that ate yesterday. A mother protecting cubs will attack things she'd normally avoid. A predator that has been fed by humans and lost its instinctive caution is genuinely dangerous in ways that a wild predator typically isn't. In certain environments, dense jungle, deep wilderness, extreme cold, strip away many of the chemical and behavioral signals that normally give predators pause. But the baseline pattern holds across a remarkable range of species and environments. Sleeping humans are systematically treated with more caution than their physical vulnerability would seem to warrant. That pattern has been documented in fieldwork, in wildlife camera footage, in accounts from researchers and guides who have spent decades watching predator behavior in the wild. The question is why evolution built it this way? The answer is almost certainly this. At some point in the deep past, attacking humans became a reliable way to die. Not always, not immediately, but reliably enough over enough generations that the genes of cautious predators spread further than the genes of bold ones. The animals alive today, watching you sleep from the shadows, are the descendants of every creature that decided to think twice. There's something worth sitting with in that idea. You are not just a body lying in the dark. You are the living product of hundreds of thousands of years of one of the most successful predatory lineages on Earth. Your ancestors didn't just survive encounters with lions and bears and wolves. They systematically shaped the behavior of those animals across geological time. They rewired instinct. They made themselves into something that even apex hunters approach with genuine hesitation. That hesitation you induce in a watching predator isn't weakness on their part, it's intelligence. And it's a tribute to what your species has been capable of for a very, very long time. So the next time you're camping or hiking deep into wild country, or simply lying in your bed at night, wondering about the darkness outside, remember this. Something with perfect night vision and 4 times your strength might be out there. It might be watching you right now. And it's afraid. Not because you're powerful at this particular moment. Not because you can fight or run or see in the dark. But because somewhere in the ancient wiring of that animal's nervous system, there is a warning that has been written and rewritten across thousands of generations. That shape on the ground is not prey. That shape on the ground has never been prey. Leave it alone.